everybody, welcome back to my next cooking video. Today I am going to make beef casserole and tomato sauce. Okay, first step is to get the water boiling. So my water is now boiling really well. I'm just going to add some salt to the water, and then I'll add the pasta in. So as the pasta is boiling away, the water's boiling away, I'm going to add pasta. I'm just going to add some penne pasta to this casserole. I find it cools up really well in the water and it's a nice pasta shape. So while that is cooking, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir. Sorry, my camera fell over. And while that is cooking, I'm going to finish chopping up all my vegetables. So let's put the lid on this and let that cook. Keep the lid part way so it gets some air and it doesn't go over the pot and make a mess on my stove. Okay, so while the pasta is cooking, I'm going to show you all the other ingredients I have. I have a diced zucchini, which I probably will not use, but I diced it up anyway. Tomatoes, ground beef, of course. And I use lean ground beef all the time. Spinach. I have oyster mushrooms, onions, oyster mushrooms and cremini mushrooms, onions, and red pepper. And I've already gone through before how to cut up red pepper and onions, so you can look at some of my other videos as well. And some chopped up fresh parsley as well. So now I am ready to start cooking the beef. My pasta is cooking away. So it's cooking away, and you constantly have to stir it. You don't put oil in the pan with pasta. People make that mistake. It just makes your pasta really, really oily, and it's not good. So you just, a little bit of salt, that's fine. And then you just constantly stir it so it doesn't get stuck. So you just keep stirring it away. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna cook the ground beef. Okay, so the pasta is all done. So I'm gonna move it to the back of the stove and gonna start cooking the ground beef. Just keep the lid on it to keep it hot. Now, I like to cook my ground beef in my cast iron skillet because I find it really heat well. It cooks it really well and it doesn't stick. So I'm going to show you how to season the pan because my pan needs a little bit of help. It's a little bit, not rusty, but it lost a lot of its seasoning when I washed it. So it doesn't look as good as it should. So you can see a little bit of marks on it. So I'm going to show you how to season a pan. Some paper towel, oil, and I like to use olive oil. So just put a little bit of oil in the pan. Take a paper towel, and you just rub it all over the pan. Now when you first get a pan, first time ever you season a cast iron pan, you should put it in the oven at 375 for about an hour just after you've done this, just so that the coating sticks into the pan. That way from then on, you never have to use soap and water. Actually, you shouldn't use soap and water in these pans. Just a quick rinse with warm water. You can scrape it to get the maybe any stuck bits off. I like to use my metal and I just scrape off any bits that are still on the pan. And then you just pat it dry and it's ready for the next one. Then you can just put a little bit of oil in it again with the paper towel, just season it again, and then it's ready to go. So now I'm ready to cook the ground beef. So I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil to the pan. And with cast iron, you don't put it on high. I put it about medium, 5, 6. That's a good temperature. And then you just wait for the oil to heat up. Okay, so I'm just about ready to cook the ground beef and the onions. So again, to test if your oil is hot enough in your pan, sorry about the camera here, just having a little bit of problems with my tripod. There we go. So to test if your pan is hot enough, just put a little bit of water on your fingers and just like that. If it really sizzles, it's ready. It's not quite, just a little bit, not quite. Give it another minute. Another minute or so, and it should be ready. Okay, I think it's okay, ready now. So first I'm going to put in some of the onions. Get them brown. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of pepper to the onions. And then once these are all nice and opaque, then I will add the ground beef. It is time to add the ground beef and the garlic. First I'm going to add the garlic. And again, I don't like chopping up garlic, so I usually use the canned garlic. It's just as good and it chops it up for you. You can add a lot more. It's not as potent. That should be good. And then I'll go ahead and add the ground beef. Now during this process, once the beef is cooked, I'm going to add some of the other ingredients. Like I'm going to add some of the spinach and some of the peppers, just to give them a little bit of more of a cook before the final part goes into the oven. So I'll cook up the ground beef, and once that's brown, then I'll add some of the other ingredients and come back to you at that point. Okay, beef is almost cooked, so it's time to start adding some of the other ingredients. We'll start with adding some of the spinach, just to mix some of that in there, get it cooked in. I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to save some for when I assemble the dish. We just want to get some in there to cook in with meat. And I'm going to add some of the red peppers as well. A bit more spinach. In there, and I also added some bay leaf, some paprika, and a little bit of oregano. Now you can add whatever herbs and spices that you like to add. That's what I like to add, so you can be creative with this as you want. Add some more of the peppers. I'm not going to add any more of the vegetables because I'm going to put them in raw, and then they can cook with the mixture as it's in the oven. And I'm going to put the oven on to 350 to preheat. I've already dumped the pasta out of the pot and drained that. And in a few minutes I'm going to drain the beef, and then I'll start assembling. Okay, beef mixture is all done, so I'm going to drain it, and then I'm going to add it to the casserole dish. Okay, so here I'm just assembling everything. So I just put some of the beef, some more of the spinach, some of the mushrooms, and the tomatoes in. Some meat. It's basically almost assembling like a lasagna. You just put meat, but then you stir it around instead of having layers. And then I'm going to add some tomato sauce. I like Bertolli tomato sauce, it's really good. And I just get the basic tomato and basil. You can get whatever flavors you want. You can get just marinara sauce. Ragu is also good. Just put that in, stir it up. Now I like my pasta very cheesy, so I made a mixture of ground cheddar and mozzarella. This is not, for me, this is not enough cheese. I like it lots and lots of cheesy. So I'm gonna add some more grated cheese to that when I'm done. But I just wanted to get some of this going. All the rest of the meat. Sauce and add the rest of the mushrooms. And the rest of the tomatoes. I think that's loads and loads of veggies in there. And start adding the cheese as I mix. The cheese will get incorporated in there. I'm going to add all this and then incorporate it so that the cheese is nice and incorporated, and then I'll shred some more to add on top. Just keep stirring it all in. So I add a little bit, I usually start with a little bit of noodles, and I start adding some meat, a little bit of everything, stir it all up so it's all mixed in together, and then just keep adding. And keep mixing it all in together. So the sauce is coating everything, the pasta's mixed in there, the meat is mixed in there. My oven is now going off. My oven is saying it's ready. I'm gonna add some more sauce and grate some more cheese, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've mixed it all up, and now I'm gonna add the rest of the shredded cheese on top, make it nice and cheesy. And then I will put it in the oven for, I'll check it in an hour, see if it's done. So 350 for 1 hour in the oven. Just gonna layer all the cheese on top so it's nice and cheesy. Doing is I'm laying this on top of my cookie sheet, so that it doesn't go flying off, and I've almost lost it into the, good thing I'm doing that because I almost lost it into the sink. So I'm going to lay it on my cookie sheet and then put it in the oven, so that the cookie sheet will give it some stability when I take it out of the oven. So 1 hour at 350, and then we'll check on it. Okay, it's been an hour and it's time to take this out of the oven. Turn on the lights so you can see. It looks really good. It smells good too. So there it is. Nice cheesy beef casserole. Fresh out of the oven and ready to cook, ready to eat. Okay, thank you.